Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. It's June 7th. I'm here with a video, of course. Today we're going to be talking about the severe weather, and we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Cristobal, which is going to be making landfall most likely this afternoon. Yes, if you are a new viewer, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I guess let's get started, alright? So today we have an enhanced risk for severe weather in South Dakota, North Dakota, and northwestern Minnesota. Then we have a slight risk going all the way down to a little bit of Utah right there and up to northern Minnesota. But we do have two areas to watch today, which we're going to be watching in the live stream. We're going to be looking at the severe weather in our live stream, but we're also going to be watching Cristobal. Okay. All right. So we have a slight risk in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama right there, ahead of Cristobal, or for Cristobal, I guess, for the potential for tornadoes. Now, tornadoes might be a pretty big deal today. We go to the day one tornado threat. We finally have a 10% significant risk for tornadoes. We only have had one of those, I think, since April. I think we've only had one. But we do have a 5% also in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and then we have that 10% up in the plains. So I'm planning on starting the live stream around 5 to 6 p.m. today, and then I'm planning on staying live until probably 1 a.m. So it's gonna be pretty fun today. Hopefully it'll go better than yesterday's live stream, which kind of didn't really work well. But hopefully it will go better. Let's take a look at hail today. And I'm going to say this, today's threat, I would not be surprised if it does go moderate. I'd say it has a 50 to 50, probably a 50 to 50, okay. It has a 50% chance of going moderate, and a 50% chance of not going moderate. It does have a good chance, though. Now this is the wind threat for today. We have a significant 30% in South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota. We also have a 5% in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. All right. Now, I did make us a little slideshow so we can look at some of the ingredients for severe weather here, so we don't have to spend like 10 minutes loading through pivotal weather. But you see, so this is CAPE for the day, the ML CAPE, multi-layer CAPE. You see, we have good instability going all the way up to the U.S., kind of a little bit into Canada right there. We have good instability for storms in this region, and this is where I think initiation is going to happen this afternoon. We have good instability. The highest is actually in eastern North Dakota in this area here. We have around 4,000 CAPE in portions of western Minnesota, and good 2,500 to 3,500 in eastern North Dakota. So today we are going to be having plenty of CAPE, or plenty of, I guess, instability. Let's go to the next slide. So this is dew points for today. We have dew points in the 70s in that high CAPE area, and dew points in the mid 60s and in some areas in the 70s, where we have that kind of the Gulf is open. We would be seeing more widespread dew points higher if we didn't have Cristobal. That's just my opinion from what I've seen. But all right, this is the next slide. We're not going to be looking at a whole lot today. My throat kind of hurts. I don't know if you guys can tell. But okay, so this is the 500 millibar height, or this is the 500 millibar winds. All right, you can see we got Cristobal right here, of course. But look at this giant trough. This is what's going to help or be helping support our severe weather today. We have this large trough coming out into the northern plains, and this is going to be helping the severe weather. We got winds in there, and our tornado threat, which I think is in this area. That's my tornado zone. We have 500 millibar winds of 50 miles per hour. So that's pretty good. 50 to 60 actually. So we definitely got the upper levels today. Now this is my last slide. I didn't make much today. This is bulk shear. Bulk shear is on the lower side. Well, it's not low at all. It's good. It's not as high as yesterday, but if we can get supercells today, which I think we're going to have a lot more supercells than yesterday, because yesterday we hardly had any in the Midwest, or not in the Midwest, the plains. We're going to be looking at probably, it does have a good chance to produce a tornado. I think bulk shear is decent. Now let's actually time this out here. We're looking at tropical tidbits. So right now we do have some storms moving through Minnesota in this area along the warm front. They're not really. I think they might go. Some of them could go severe, but I don't think it's likely for them to produce a tornado at all. Maybe some damaging winds and some small hail. That's about it, though. But by this afternoon, at around 18 Z, let's go until we actually get initiation. So around 22 Z, we start to get initiation. We have some storms. 22 Z. If you guys don't know, I think that's 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We started to get initiation in portions of South Dakota. Nothing yet. Nothing has happened in North Dakota yet. By 23Z, we get a lot more initiation. We see we have storms in North Dakota starting to go off. A lot of storms in South Dakota now going off right along the low. The low. And then by 00Z, we have a kind of a good amount of. We might have some line segments. Kind of have a few right there in South Dakota. Some going down like this. But up here in North Dakota, some of these could be supercells. And so some of these could produce tornadoes. Because we do have supercells right there at around 00Z, which is around 7 p.m. By 8 p.m., we have a lot of kind of mini lines going through. We have one here in South Dakota, like that. One in Minnesota. But in between these, we could have some supercells. You can see that looks like 3 supercells right there in a row. And embedded supercells are likely inside of these lines. And so we're probably going to see a few tornadoes today, more tornadoes compared to yesterday. We only had 1 tornado, and that was in South Dakota yesterday. It wasn't even tornado warned. By 2Z, this is 9 p.m. now. We're looking at a good line going through Minnesota at QCLS. Maybe some supercells up in northern Minnesota, and maybe some on the backside in North Dakota and a little bit in South Dakota also, potentially. And this is 10 p.m. here. We have that line in Minnesota. Looks like it's starting to weaken. I took a sign. We have another line that looks like it's pretty strong in South Dakota and North Dakota right there. And that moves on. We could even see we're still seeing more storms forming behind this. And then now it looks like it's kind of the end of it. So I'm planning on stopping the stream at around 4 to 5 Z. That's when I think the tornado potential is going to go down because it's mostly just QCLSs, not really much supercells by that time. So that's gonna wrap up the severe weather. I'm not gonna get too much of a advanced alert for today because I'm going to be live streaming later for this. Now Cristobal. All right, so now let's move on to Cristobal. 50 miles per hour right now, 994 millibars. Let's get the cone pulled up here. So right now, Mississippi and Louisiana are getting affected by tropical storm force winds. Tropical storm warnings all the way in the Florida Panhandle a little bit, in those blue colors. And this storm is predicted to move northward by the time it gets into southern Arkansas. It's forecasted to be a depression, and then it moves up through Illinois or up through Missouri, kind of along the Iowa-Illinois border and into Wisconsin, then into Canada as a depression. So right now, but it's forecasted to make landfall this afternoon. Wind history. You see Louisiana is already getting affected by it. U.S. rainfall potential. We have a 6 to 10 inch area across Louisiana and Mississippi right there. Now flash flooding potential. We do now have a high risk. This is issued by the Weather Prediction Center. We have a high risk in Louisiana and Mississippi right there for flash flooding. Wind speed probabilities. Of course, areas of Louisiana already have a 90+% chance of getting tropical storm force winds because they're already getting them. We got the 90 or we got the 20% probability of tropical storm force winds going all the way up into almost up to the Louisiana-Arkansas border. Not quite there yet, but they might. But by the live stream tonight, that might have changed. Now peak surge, we're looking at in this area of southeastern Louisiana to the southwest of Ocean Springs. That's where the peak surge is likely going to be. But we could be seeing surge all the way down to Marco Island, according to the National Hurricane Center, 1 to 3 feet, like that, 2 to 4 feet in some areas of Louisiana also. That'll wrap up this little quick forecast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and I'll be back with a live stream later. Peace out.